The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.
Welcome, honorable members, to this session of NTV People's Parliament. We are on a nationwide trail taking People's Parliament to the people. And right now we are in Kabale in Kigezi sub-region. Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of the People's Parliament, presides. Madam Speaker, the youth, who make up 75% of Uganda's population, are very disinterested in national policy processes, such as elections, and yet they are the future leaders for tomorrow. By description, the youth are those in society falling in the age bracket 15 to 35. It has been noted that in the last 2 decades, many youth structures have either collapsed or have fallen into disuse. I therefore propose, Madam Speaker, that we discuss the topic: why is majority of the youth not engaged in electoral politics?
Those in favor, aye. To the contrary, no?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Wherever you are watching from, this is NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kabale District, discussing the youth in politics. Honorable members, as you are aware, the youth are critical in the future of any society and should therefore have more interest in the direction this country is taking. But this is not so. Why do you think, honorable members? May I have one of the youth leaders?
I'm Honorable Arinito Sam, representing the youth of Kabale. Madam Speaker, when you look at the available positions and look at the number of the young people, when we look at the percentage of the young people in our country, which is estimated at different percentages, depending on a certain organization that comes with the data, but largely we are said to be at around over 70% as the young population, and these are youth. But when you look at the positions, we cannot have 2 district chairpersons. That means we are limited by the number of positioning. We have, like Kabale itself, we have 25 sub-counties, meaning we shall get 25 chairpersons and 9 executive members. The District Youth Council is comprised of 75 members represented by 3 youth. On each sub-county, you find 2 representatives. At the district, you find 2 representatives, a male and female. So I do believe that we can as well participate in youth politics. We can participate in general politics.
Why aren't the youth competing for such seats at the district?
Madam Speaker, on a personal level, I can say it has been this thing that I used to say, youth are the leaders of tomorrow. And many people got used to that. But as I speak now, when you look at the number of young people who are interested and who are vying for these political and elective positions, there are very many. But still, there are so many young people. When you look at, because when you look at the level...
So when they see you are the leaders of tomorrow, therefore you keep waiting until tomorrow comes to participate.
Some of us, we are no longer in that era, and we believe we are the leaders of today,
yes,
and we are ready to take up the mantle.
All right. Thank you. I will give you another opportunity. We have an expert from our partners, Deneva, and maybe they have some research they have carried out throughout the country to see how is it in other districts. You're welcome, Honorable Member.
Madam Speaker and dear members, honorable members, I'm here to submit 2 key observations across our country why youth seem disinterested or do not participate actively in politics. The first major observation as per research is that majority of our youth lack the leadership and management skills. It's true in our country, structures have been put in place to nurture youth into leadership and management. We have the National Youth Council, which is housed in Gender, which is spread across the district to have district councils. But the question is, to what extent are they groomed into leadership? To what extent are the youth trained in issues of leadership and management. Just even when you look at the structures and the political environment in our country, you go across the different political parties. It is very rare that you find that politicians within the parties have meaningful engagement with the youth. You know, we have different parties, the DP, the NRM, have conferences going on for the whole party, but to what extent are youth provided space to discuss issues pertaining to the party? So minus space and opportunity to groom them, it becomes very difficult for the youth to engage meaningfully in politics. The other one is that if you look at our political, can I say political vehicle in the country, you'll find that it's mainly the older people who have captured the political space, and they're using it to further their agenda. It has been written in different media where politicians, senior political leaders, have told youth to stay away from politics, but rather instead they should engage in meaningful, productive actions. So if senior political leaders, or if senior leaders in the country actually discourage the youth from engaging in politics, how do we expect the youth to come on board? The other major one is that lack of resourcing. In Uganda, politics, you can agree with me, it's difficult to win in politics unless you have a financial muscle. Now the question is, how many of our political parties actually have funds to finance upcoming leaders within their parties? This is a big impeding gap for the youth to meaningfully engage in politics, and especially for the female youth more so. There is no space to groom leaders, whether you go to civil society, whether you go to political parties, whether you go to government programs. There is no space to say, let us nurture and raise the tomorrow's leaders within our political vision, our political agenda. So you find that it becomes very difficult for them to be in the cutting edge. Even when you look at the youth who have now come to represent youth either in parliament or in districts, you find that they do not get space to actually be on the cutting edge and provide a leadership example.
Some of them begin to represent their party.
Precisely. So you find that they do not consult with the youth, or there is no finance actually within the party to allow them consult with the youth on matters concerning the party.
Okay,
so those are key issues that we have observed.
Thank you for that observation. Honourable members, I think you have heard for yourself, but before I take the debate onto you, I would like one of the members of parliament who joined the politics when he was still a youth.
My name is Henry Musasizi. I am a member of parliament for Rubanda County East. And like she has said, I joined parliament when I was still a youth. I was under 30 when I joined parliament. And I'm very, very passionate about today's topic. Like Deneva has pointed out, the young people face a number of challenges, ranging from micro to macro. But largely, the challenges young people face to come out as leaders are internal within ourselves. I want to come to the attitude. It is very difficult to find a young person believing in him or herself that, yes, I believe I can make it. That challenge remains prominent. And you need a lot of courage when you are young to challenge for positions of leadership, not only in politics, but also in other settings where leaders are required. I want to state that I did not begin with parliament. At my workplace, I competed for a job that he needed 10 years experience, and I had hardly made 1 year out of school. And the challenge at the panel was, why did you apply for the job that required 10 years experience when you had only 9 months? And my response was, in form of a question, I asked them, if you knew that I was not qualified to take up this position, why did you shortlist me? And that was the beginning of the debate. But what am I trying to say? The point I'm trying to make is that you need to be very, very courageous. Because
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem. You need, because positions of leadership are fought for. You will fight, they will fight you. And nobody is going to say, Sam, come and be a member of parliament for this constituency.
Yes.
Come and be a manager for this organization. Instead, when you offer yourself, people will be out there fighting to pull you down. So you have to fight hard. And this is what we lack. I went to Butovere. Butovere, Madam Speaker, is the only senior south of the Sahara. Madam Speaker, our culture in Butovere requires us that we must always be the best wherever we are.
Yeah.
And I feel very proud to belong to that culture, because it is responsible for what we are today. And I want to ask all those who did not get an opportunity to go to that school, to learn that culture. We must aspire to be at the top in
Yes.
whatever we are doing.
Yeah.
Another challenge, Madam Speaker, is about preparation and organization. It's one thing to say, I want to compete for the position of a member of parliament, or I want to compete for the position of a councillor. But it's another thing to be prepared to compete for this position. I always tell my friends, if you have an hour to do something, spend 40 minutes in preparation and spend only 20 minutes in implementing your plans. Okay. Many people want to stand. And the challenge I've been posing to them, it's very difficult to answer a question of why do you want to stand? You want to stand, yes, for a member of parliament for Rwanda with Musasizi. Why do you want to remove him? Nawarugeyo has a yabandi. That's an answer. To me, that's lack of what? What it means that I should get out and another person comes.
All right.
That's an answer. And that's not what our people want. Our people want your agenda. What do you want to do differently from what Musaz is doing? Okay. So as young people, I want to appeal to you. As I conclude, because you gave me 3 minutes.
Yes, Honorable.
I don't agree with the idea that we must begin with money. The planning is more important than the money. Money finds you along the way when you have a very, very good plan. That aspect, as young people, we need not to be threatened by failure to find money. But if you have a good program, you will find a good Samaritan to buy your program.
Yes.
Secondly, we need mentors.
Like you.
We need to be mentored. I am what I am because I was mentored by Honorable Shem Magaine when I was still a young boy from Mutovere onwards. I was always followed up. So many young people today do not have mentors. You don't need to have a physical mentor, but you can also read about someone and maybe get interested in how this person was able to rise to the top and you follow the footsteps.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And once again, I must express my gratitude for you are bringing People's Parliament to Kabale,
Yes.
and the support you always give us
Thank
in the
you.
Parliament, in our national Parliament.
Thank
I
you. Thank you so much. As I earlier told you, wherever you are watching from, you are watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kabale District, presided over by none other than Agnes Nandutu. And as you are aware, the youth are critical to the future of any society and should therefore have more interest in the direction of where this country is taking. Honorable members, before I let you into this debate, let's go for a short break. And when we come back, we are going to hear more of the challenges that the youth are facing, or the challenges that are blocking the youth from joining politics. Welcome back. You're still watching NTV People's Parliament, sitting here in Kabale District in the Greater Kigezi region. And we are debating a very important topic, the youth in politics. They have always said the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But this time they're saying they're the leaders of today.
My name is Julius Bugesije, and I am an active citizen of this land. The youths are not participating in politics, to me, because of a number of reasons, not only looking at the mentorship and quite a number of things that we are talking about. Look at the setting of this country alone. There is what we call political hegemony, a state where a dominant group isolates a minority group. This is the challenge, the core of the trouble that we have in the country. Look at how the youth have been accorded some opportunities. Do we receive opportunities based on merit? Do we receive opportunities simply because we have supported as puppets? Do we receive appointments because we are patriots? Or we receive appointments because we forward the names of people to take up positions forever in life? Now, if we have such a setting, my fellow countrymen and women, where do you expect national youth to participate in politics? The challenges are deep-rooted, my fellow Ugandans. Look at the commercialized politics in a state, Madam Speaker, and honorable members present in this August House, where 64% of Ugandans are not employed. The youths, 64%. When you get 100 youths in Uganda, 64 of them do not have adequate, they are not employed. Now, those that are not employed are loitering around the town. How do you expect them to finance the politics that we have in the country? Where do you expect them to have the brown envelopes to give to the youths for voting? These challenges go beyond mentorship and whatever. Fine, I agree with the former speaker about mentorship. Unlike Kenya, where we see the president take a legitimate step to invite the young men in the state house for mentorship, in Uganda, the state house is a no-go zone. When you go there, the signposts are everywhere. Don't pass by, don't take a photograph, don't. It is a place out of the country, and yet it is the topmost office that is meant, Madam Speaker, to inspire the youth to participate in politics. Thank you for the program. I salute you all.
Thank you. You have the platform, honorable member.
Honorable members, I thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Honorable Ronald Binomcha, a student at Bishop Baramu University and working with Iraka, Uganda. I am so happy because of the topic today. And I would like to describe the challenge we are facing in Uganda as a challenge that was in Israel, where we saw giant Goliath with an insect, David. Politicians who are so-called political giants assume powers by the support of the government with the money. They are so well dressed for politics. But a minute youth in Kabare, from Hamugwa, from Kacherere, who is studying in Bonabashome, but he's coming to contest with someone who has been in power and is supported by the government. How do you think this is going to be possible? I would like to appreciate the youth that have come up to be like David. Let us not be manipulated by self-centered leaders in Uganda to use us to get what they want.
Okay, Honorable Member.
I think.
Thanks. Yes, have the platform, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, honorable members. My name is Byamujisha Kakuru Robert, the coordinator Kick Corruption Out of Kigeze, a non-government organization that is based in this district and the region.
Which percentage have you now kicked corruption out of Kigeze?
It is an attitude issue that needs another session to debate about.
All right,
but
go
we
ahead
are pushing
with your point.
Madam Speaker, I would like also to join my voice and say part of the major challenges we face in this district and the region as a whole, which are cross-cutting the nation, the region, and Africa. One of them is that youth are seen and see themselves as lost generation. They also see themselves as bored, they have a bored life. They see themselves as a corruptible and a corrupted society. And why do I say this, Madam Speaker? It's because of the environment of our politics in this country that causes the youth behave in this nature. For example, if you are poor, you don't have any income, you are invited as a youth to cheer up those who have, to be given a peanut, to sing around the streets the names of those who have. It hurts us to see that over 70% of our population is being used in that manner because they are not employed, they have no capacity to sustain themselves. It is a challenge. And with voter bribery, Madam Speaker, it is now targeting the youth to see that you vote those who are rich by giving you 10,500. We call upon this country to allow free atmosphere for the youth to contest and become presidents of this nation. Why not? To contest and become members of parliament, to be free and move as Ugandans. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Please, you have the platform, please.
Thank you. Now, it is a mayhem how the politics of this country is progressing. Youth are being threatened every day. Whenever you show up an interest for a political position, there are those people who are already there. They threaten you, imprison you. We have seen many who are suffering. And this has intimidated very many young youth to fear political positions and look at them as positions of people who are old. Now, if an old politician with experience can be threatened of revealing his political intentions, how about a youth? So these are the issues we have to bring to the limelight.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Member. Please have the platform. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Atkunda Victoria Abigail. I'm representing the women of Kabale. All the previous speakers have said so much sense, and I thank them. But I would like also to take a different trend of thinking, where we are talking about the youth participating in politics. I think what we are looking at here is an issue of mobilization and sensitization. The youth, we have the critical mass in the nation, over 70%. But we have not yet realized our power to change the face and the mode of politics in Uganda. It is upon us as the youth to change the pace, to give momentum to politics, but also to change the face of politics. We have had an issue, really, of money, commercialization of politics, and therefore we fear to come out because we don't have this money to put into politics. We have had issues of corruption, where we feel that even if we went, the vote will be rigged, and we won't even go into these positions.
And therefore they sit back and then
we kind of sit back and say no. But there is also this issue of voter bribery, which is taking up it is eating up to the bone marrow of this nation. What I'm thinking, it's now that the youth should decide to change politics, and we have the mantle. One, because we have the numbers. Over 70%, we have the numbers. If we said so and so will not go into this position, we would mobilize ourselves and make sure that person does not go in, because we have these numbers. Second of all, we would decide as youth to refuse commercialization of politics. They give you that money, you eat it, but still you vote the person you want.
Why don't you reject it?
Yes,
Why should you eat it?
That's what I'm saying, that it is us now to decide, and as youth, to choose to change the momentum, to change the mode, and to face
do
the
you
force of
think
politics.
taking that money isn't corruption?
If you received the money but didn't vote that person, the face would change, because they would know that even if you used money, still you won't be voted if you're not quality material. What we need is quality material, and it is us, the youth, to do it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Are you seeking any position?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
You are seeking a position. Tell us which position you are challenging. And
Thank you so much. My name is Moses Andinda, an aspirant for MP Ndoro West constituency. And I'm great so much to see all of you here.
So you are contesting for Ndoro East?
Ndoro West.
Ndoro West.
Yes.
Please go ahead. We shall support
humbled. I want to add on what my friends have said in the beginning, the issue of attitude. The youths, we take ourselves as people who cannot manage, and it all begins with our heads. And I want to encourage people like us that attitude is altitude. A country whose youth are not involved in politics and leadership is lame. It has no destiny, it has no future. Let us reflect back and look at how the big fish has corrupted the minds of our people. They think that there is no something for nothing, for something. I mean, there is something for something. When there's nothing, there's nothing. Like these days, I go to people discussing with them how their take on Uganda's leadership. One, they tell me, according to how the chairperson of KIK, Honorable James Sharobad, has said that you are a youth. What shall we get from you before we send you to lead us? I always feel hurt when I'm singing the song of "We are the proud mothers and fathers of the nation," the backbone without which our country can never stand. So let us wake up and shape the future of our nation. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. The youth of Kabale are speaking. What about the youth in Bududa? What about the youth in Lango sub-region or Achol sub-region? Are you also engaging in the 2016 political seats, or you're just seated and waiting to be a leader of tomorrow? Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we are going to look at a way forward on how we can create space for the youth of this country to participate for the development, within the development of this country. Wherever you are watching from, take an example from here. If you're not participating in politics, please run and stand for that parliamentary seat, for that LC5 seat as a youth. Why don't you also go for the highest office in this country? Yes, honorable members, how shall we handle the situation then if we have all these bottlenecks in front of us?
My name is Byamsha Sentaro. I'm the division chairperson of Central Division. In fact,
you have 1 minute to have a way forward,
yeah, but Madam Speaker, I don't want to lament. I want to bring hope, because I'm speaking from experience. You, the youth who want to be in leadership, you have to come up and compete with these old people.
Yes, that is it.
In fact, if you don't want to compete, then there is no one who is going to get you out of there and tell you to compete. For example, I'm now going for the mayorship, and there are people who are telling me, no, there is this one, this. People have called me to talk me out of that. But you must
You are
know
focused.
you must know what you want. You must have the focus. And the hope I give you is that we, the youth who have been in leadership, who have tested the leadership, we should show example. If they have given you the mandate to lead the people, have you really shown an example? And I'm very sure and I'm very clear that at least I've shown that the youth can really work and they can put this country.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Please, go ahead.
Look at what we have been going through. Right from Obote 1, those who have been in leadership are still the leaders of this nation. Do you think they are going to bring up new ideas that will incorporate your interests? That's a very big challenge.
Okay, Honorable Member.
If somebody is keeping something for you and you feel he's not handling it the way you want, take it over from him, run it yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Yes, Honorable Member, as advice to the youth, which route do you think they should take?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank honorable members that have been able to contribute. I think going forward, the major issue is for youth, first of all, to create trust among the people that are supposed to be voting them or supporting them. Because I speak from experience, when I came up at the age of 33, at that time I was deemed to be so young, unmarried, no child, no what. Therefore, how do you speak about women issues? But Madam Speaker, what I've realized with most women members of parliament, for example, is the fear for the unknown, the cultural rigidities, where, for instance, now we have only 11 women in this country that are succeeded for the direct seats in parliament, meaning that if this women's slot was not there, we are going to be having 11 out of 376 members of parliament. So there is that, like the cultural beliefs that maybe these seats are meant for men.
Just pose one
women.
question to you. Do you support the proposal that was fronted by the opposition that there should be term limits for women, for parliamentary women seats to enable the young ones come in?
I strongly agree. So, Madam Speaker, I would also want to say that I encourage the youth to avoid inferiority complex, because I have engaged with youth so much. I used to call on the leaders alone, the chairman, LC3, for example. But you would find that at that LC3 level, the chairman, they are actually the chairpersons are all men. So when I would say, how can I get the women? Because I thought we could at least have a mixture. They say, maybe if you say that secretary is for female, meaning that the rest of the positions themselves, they do not see them suitable for the women, and the women are challenged at that point. Therefore, I want to encourage the women here that kindly go for any position. Just be firm, know what you want. You must know what motivates you. Because, Madam Speaker, as a woman MP, I'm already encountering people who are negotiating with me that I should give them money to pull out, for instance, from contesting with me. And I'm like, what is your motivation in this race? Do you have an agenda for Kabale, or indeed you're just looking for money?
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable. Honorable is encouraging you to take up, and you can actually take up from her.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Actually, she's my mentor.
She's your mentor?
Speaker. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, the previous speakers, thank you for your submission. It has really been good, but I want only to focus on this democracy. You know, our Uganda is based on democracy, but as she said, if you come up as a youth to contest, people behind have perceived that we youth, we shall not do anything if we reach there, because they are used to being led by these old people, so they think we shall not do. It is not all about having these skills, but even if you go there, they will not vote for you. So our people need this kind of sensitization to know that even youth can go and represent them, bring up new ideas, as they say. Thank you.
You're welcome, please.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'm going to restrict myself to matters of the law. I'm sorry I came late, but I found somebody discussing and he said, if you are not 35 and above, you're not allowed to contest for LC5 chairmanship.
Which is wrong.
Which is wrong. You read Article 80. Article 80.
He's just fearing to go against the LC5 chairman. That particular speaker, I think.
No, 183, not Article 80 of the Constitution. Article 176 establishes local governments. And there is a decentralization in local governments. So you are free to contest, but for chairmanship, LC5 is 30 and above. It's not 35. Members of Parliament are also established under Article 77. You go and read Article 77 of the Constitution. It establishes a Parliament. Then 80, Article 80, you'll see what do you need to become a member of Parliament? A level, and 18 years. So you are free. You go and read Article 98. It establishes the office of the President. Then Article 102 talks about who can be a president of Uganda, who can contest. You only need to be 35, a citizen of Uganda, and a few other things, and you are there. I want to encourage young people, because you see, someone said something very interesting. The chairman. He said, no one will pull you. This thing, it's about you.
Power is not given, it is grabbed, my dear.
Yes, you've got to show your presence. No one is going to say, yes, you are seated there, you've been seated there for so long. I think you should come and join us here on the high table. My dear, there's a lot of competition in Uganda. The people in Uganda, everybody has become a professor. You know, everybody reasons so highly in Uganda because education is, education is one of the greatest achievements of this government. So everybody is educated. Everyone thinks he can lead. Everybody thinks he can be president, can be prime minister, can be cabinet minister. But one thing which differentiates men from children is the ability to rise up as an individual and say, here I am. And these are the issues that I offer. If you don't offer yourself, no one will offer you. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. RDC. He's telling you that power is not given, it is grabbed. Yes, you have the platform, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Members.
Wind up in 1 minute, please. We are
Tujomujero Christmas, aspirant, OC5 Councillor, Chitumba Sub-County.
Yes. Why don't you grab the...
Right Honorable Speaker, when we reflect back on the political history of Uganda, there has been too much intimidation to the youth generation. And this have affected them to come up and bring their voice to the high table. When we see right back 1962, when Uganda got independence, there has been too much oppression in the political system. Why at the extent when you come today and you declare as the youth, you are intimidated, you are imprisoned, and other sort of things. So I call upon all the youth of Uganda, way forward, let's come out. Time is now. Let us not be bought like maize on the way to change the constitution, to amend the constitution. Just an MP, a member of parliament, given just a little amount of money to buy maize and change the constitution.
We should
time is now.
From that.
Time is now. Let us forward Uganda to the next system.
Thank you. Please, 1 minute, wind up. And
that good leaders determine the future of the country. It's upon we, as young Ghanaians and citizens of the world, to choose good leaders so that we can see our country moving forward.
Good leaders like you.
Good leaders like me, of course. When I'm put into power, I have to do good things. And members, we have always been seeing this problem of these leaders going there, keeping money, and at the time like this one, when they want votes, they come and give us 800, 1,000, 10,000, so that we can give them our vote.
We should resist from that.
We should resist that.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member. Because of time constraints, we are not able to proceed. Wherever you are watching from, this is NTV People's Parliament sitting here in Kabale. Those of Mbale, those of Sironko, and those of Kitugum, you are watching. All the youth who are there, please listen and get advice from the youth of Kabale district. I am aspired to inspire Ugandans before I expire. And with powers conferred upon me as the Speaker of People's Parliament, I adjourn this House. Until next week.
The views expressed on this show do not represent those of NTV or its staff.